Díomh agus gur mágaibh don chur leir liveniu. Hello and thank you for the invitation to present on behalf of Screen Producers Ireland today, or SPI. SPI is the national representative organisation of independent film, television, animation and digital production companies. With over 110 company members, SPI is the recognised voice of independent audiovisual production in Ireland today. The Irish independent production sector creates original content using Irish creative talent to give our diverse culture expression on screen. Independent production companies are creative entrepreneurs, preserving, presenting and evolving Ireland's cultural landscape and heritage while creating high-value employment across the country. SPI represents members from emerging producers to producers of large-scale, high-end film and TV drama, working in both the English language agus Trevan na Gaeilge. Cultural diversity underpins independent production. Diversity on our screens grows audiences, makes our content more relevant and reflects Irish society back on itself. The strength of our sector is the diverse backgrounds, experiences, interests and specialities that the hundreds of companies all over Ireland bring to that content creation. Cultural diversity is also at the heart of trustworthy public service content. We believe the three elements, cultural diversity, public service content and independent production, are intrinsically linked and one cannot be achieved without the other. This montage of our producers' work illustrates the point. The independent production sector makes some of the most watched and loved Irish content shown by our broadcasters. Our content resonates with audiences because of the multiplicity of voices that work to create it. This is evidenced by the audience who tune in and who watch it, on linear television or online, and by the broadcasters and the funding bodies who commission the content from the sector. A multiplicity of voices being seen and heard is at the very heart of our members' work, from their motivation as independent creative producers to share their own experiences or to uncover those of others, giving voice to minority and lesser known stories originating from and reflecting a range of abilities, ethnicities and life experiences from all over Ireland. Our members have covered a lot of ground in representing our society on and off screen, but we want to achieve more. And with increased investment in the independent sector, more voices could be seen and heard, ensuring that content we consume shows our society in its true sense. We believe that people want to see themselves and their communities reflected back to them on screen. This can be to reaffirm their belonging, to challenge perceptions, or simply reflect that we are one community with many ways of being. How media should engage diverse audiences is a complex, constantly evolving question, but to simplify our answer, we would define three key actions. Firstly, increased funding. It is the business of independent producers to think long and hard about engaging the widest possible audience for their work. To increase the level of commissioning in the independent sector, we believe the single largest impact in achieving this goal would be moving RTE over time to a publisher-broadcaster model akin to TG4. This would increase the amount of money available to invest in content that would appeal to the widest possible audiences. SPI would advocate that the broadest, most diverse base of talent should be attracted into the independent production sector to reflect the broadest base of experience, and that the sector is funded in a way to support this growth, the inclusion and future innovation. Secondly, best practice. SPI champions the concept of diversity on and off screen. We provide tailored support to production companies, which includes training, networking events, and support for developing more inclusive leadership in the sector. This is critical in the future development of our sector and in its agility to engage diverse audiences. The concept of nothing about me without me rings true here. SPI would advocate that we can create a diverse media ecosystem. This can be achieved through innovative access and inclusion policy, from early education through to funding and commissioning bodies to support and grow the independent production sector in Ireland. Finally, engaging younger audiences. Broadcasters face a challenge to engage with younger audiences, the likes of which they have not faced before. The massive increase in free content across social media apps, with extreme individualised channels, to international behemoths investing significant sums into their digital offerings, mean that the competition for viewers is intense. Without that engagement early on, it would be difficult for public service media to cement the brand loyalty that will be needed to support their local public service media as they grow older. This is a challenge. Currently, for example, RTE spend 150 million on Indigenous television programme production across all its output, but TV drama and young people's together were only 16% of that total. Indeed, the BAI have said that RTE in particular is super serving the over 55s and underserving other age groups from preschool up to 35 years old. This is why it's more important than ever to invest more funding in content specific for younger audiences. We need to connect with their concerns, tell stories they want to hear, or invite them to tell their own stories across all our broadcasters in English agus Trevan na Gaeilge. In order to do this, we must meet them where they are, not where we want them to be. Investment is needed in the platforms that younger audiences feel comfortable using to watch content. Diversity should be hardwired into all aspects of this process. This means expanding our definition of what public service content is to connect with these audiences, investing in digital services and reforming domestic funds to invest in new media offerings. Audiences want content that they can engage with, that responds to their world and shows them a perspective they can relate to. Diversity on and off screen is key to the growth and development of public service media, public service content, and the independent production sector. Without it, our screens will reflect a past we once lived in, as opposed to a future we can all be part of. Reflecting and challenging who we are should be a key aspiration of public service content.